Lab9 scenario, troubleshooting. In this lab, you will perform the following tasks. Troubleshoot commit failure issues, review the health of the managed firewalls, retrieve information about Panorama using SNMP. You arrive at the office to discover that the Berlin firewall is failing when a commit is pushed to it. You will need to troubleshoot and resolve the errors preventing the configuration push. You will also remove unused files from Panorama to make certain that there is adequate drive space on the device. In order to gather statistical information about Panorama's health and performance, you will configure and test SNMP settings. Lab objectives. Examine commit failure messages, verify that firewalls are connected to Panorama Troubleshoot firewall, commit failure, remove unused files from Panorama, examine SNMP data. Available from Panorama. High-level lab steps. Load configuration and push to devices. Detailed lab steps. Load configuration and push to devices. In the Panorama web interface, select Panorama greater than setup greater than operations. Click Load named Panorama Configuration Snapshot. Select EDU 220-11A Lab-9 Start XML, and then click OK. Click Close. Click the Commit option in the upper right corner, and then select Commit to Panorama. Click Commit. Monitor the status of the commit. When the commit status is complete, click Close. Click the Commit button again in the upper right corner. Select Push to Devices. When the Push to Devices window appears, click Edit Selections. Verify that the Merge with Device Candidate config include device and network templates. And Force Template Values checkboxes are selected. After you select Force Template Values, click Yes on the warning box. Under the Device Group tab, verify that the checkbox for Corp DG is selected. Select the Templates tab. Verify that the checkboxes for the Chicago firewall and the Berlin firewall are selected. Click OK, and then click Push. Examine commit error messages. Click Close on the Task Manager window. In the bottom right corner of Panorama, click the Tasks button. Notice that 2 of the 4 commits have failed. Click the Commit All link for the failed Commit to Template, Germany stack entry. In the Job Status window that appears, click the link for Commit Failed. In the last Push State Details window, Panorama provides information about why the push failed. This message indicates an issue with routing for VR1. Click Close in the last Push State Details window. Click Close in the Job Status window. Leave the Task Manager window open. Click the Commit All link for the failed commit to device groups. HQDG, Branch DG, Entry. Leave this window open and continue to the next section. Verify that Berlin firewall is connected to Panorama. Before you immediately jump to any conclusions about this failure, first verify that Panorama and the Berlin FW can communicate with one another successfully. Use the CLI to verify that the Berlin firewall is connected to Panorama. From the client to desktop, open Ramina, connect to Panorama. Use the following command to ping the management IP address of the Berlin FW from Panorama. Ping host 192.168.1.253. After 3 or 4 successful replies, use CTRL-C to halt the ping. Use the following command to view the connection status from Panorama to the Berlin firewall. Show devices all. Press the spacebar to see the information about the Berlin FW. Although the column headers are not duplicated for each firewall, Although the column headers are not duplicated for each firewall listed, you can see that the Berlin FW is connected by the yes in the far right side of the display. You can also determine the status of the connection between a firewall and Panorama through the CLI of the firewall. In Ramina, connect to the Berlin FW. Use the following command to see the status of Panorama from the firewall. Show Panorama status. Troubleshoot the Berlin firewall commit failure. Now that you have determined that Panorama and the Berlin FW are connected, you can move on to gathering more information about the cause of the commit failure. In the job status, Commit to Template Germany stack window, click directly on the commit failed message. In the last push state details window, Panorama provides additional information about why the push failed. This message refers to an issue with routing for VR1. Click Close in the last push state details window. Click Close in the job status window. Click Close in the task manager. Based on the message details, you can conclude that there is a problem with the routing configuration that Panorama is trying to push to the Berlin firewall. In a production environment with many templates configured, determining exactly where this misconfiguration exists can be a challenge. In this case, you will use the Global Find tool to locate the template and virtual router misconfiguration. Click the Global Find button in the upper right corner of the Panorama web interface. Enter VR1, and then press Enter on your keyboard. Panorama provides details about where the VR1 string occurs in any configuration elements. Expand the entry for template stack 1. In this case, you can see that VR1 appears in the Germany stack. Navigate to Network greater than virtual routers. Select Germany stack from the template drop-down list. Click the entry for VR1 to edit it. Select the tab for static routes. Notice that the interface column for the route to partner entry is empty. Click the route to partner entry. To edit it. For interface, select Ethernet tone half. For next hop, enter 192.168.50.200. Leave the remaining settings unchanged. Click OK on the virtual router. Static route, IPv4 window. Click OK on the virtual router, VR1 window. Commit the changes to Panorama. Push the configuration to the firewalls. Click the Commit button in the upper right corner. Select Push to Devices. When the Push to Devices window appears, click Edit Selections. Verify that the Merge with Device Candidate config, Include Device and Network Templates, and Force Template Values checkboxes are selected. After you select Force Template Values, click Yes on the warning box. Under the Device Group tab, verify that the checkbox for Corp DG is selected. Select the Templates tab. Verify that the checkbox for the Berlin firewall is selected. Click OK, and then click Push. Leave the Task Manager window open so you can monitor the push status. When each entry in the Task Manager changes to completed, you can close the Task Manager. You should not see any failed status messages after the fixes you employed to the VR1 static route. These steps should fix the commit issue with the Berlin firewall. Delete unused files from Panorama. You can free up space on Panorama by deleting unused versions of PANOS. You can accomplish this task through the CLI or through the web interface. In the web interface, navigate to Panorama and GT, Software. Scroll down and locate the entry for 10.01.3.0. Note the box at the far right of the row. This icon indicates that the file resides on Panorama. Click the box icon. Panorama provides a confirmation window. Click Yes. Panorama will delete the file and provide a notification. Click OK. Panorama will not allow you to delete the version of PANOS that is currently running on the device. You can also delete Panos software files through the CLI. Open Ramina and connect to Panorama. Enter the following command followed by less than to greater, then delete software version. Less than to greater than. Note that the information you see may differ from the example shown here. Panorama provides a list of the versions available to delete. Enter the following command to delete version 10.0, delete software version 10.11. Less than enter greater than. Note that Panorama does not prompt you to confirm the deletion, so be certain about which versions you intend to remove. However, if you try to remove the version of code currently running on Panorama, you will get the following warning. You can also delete content update files from the CLI. Use the following command to view the content update files available on Panorama. Delete content update less than to greater than. Note that the information you see may differ from the example shown here. You can delete any of the files listed to free up drive space, if necessary, through the CLI. If you prefer to use the web interface to delete content update files, you can find them under Panorama greater than dynamic updates. Click the box icon in the far right column for any file you want to remove. Configure SNMP on Panorama. Your organization uses an SNMP monitoring tool to gather statistics from various network devices. You intend to add Panorama to the list of hosts that this SNMP tool monitors. Before you do so, you will need to enable SNMP on Panorama. And identify the appropriate SNMP OIDs, object identifiers, For several performance-related items such as CPU utilization, navigate to Panorama, greater than setup, greater than operations, greater than miscellaneous. Click the link for SNMP setup. Verify that the settings match the following. Setting value. Physical location Chicago, Illinois, USA. Contact John Doe. Use event-specific trap definitions checked. Version VC. SNMP community string not public. Click OK. Select Panorama greater than setup greater than interfaces. Click the management entry. Place a check in the box for SNMP under the Network Services section at the bottom of the window. Leave the remaining settings unchanged. Click OK. Commit the changes to Panorama. Click the Commit option in the upper right corner, and then select Commit to Panorama. Click Commit. Monitor the status of the commit. When the commit status is complete, click Close. You only made changes to Panorama in the previous section, so you do not need to push any configuration changes to the managed firewalls. Pull Panorama for SNMP data. In this section, you will run a script that pulls Panorama for SNMP information about the following system details: CPU utilization system, uptime system description. This script uses a tool called SNMPjet to query Panorama, and the details for each query have been predefined. In a production environment, your organization will likely have a sophisticated tool that carries out similar queries and provides graphical output of the results. This exercise is only designed to show you a few examples of what can be retrieved from Panorama via SNMP. On the client to host, open a terminal window, change to the Home Lab User Desktop Lab Files DU220 directory. CD, Home Lab User, Desktop Lab Files DU220 less than enter greater than run the SNMP script. SNMP script. Less than enter greater than follow the instructions on screen. As an example, the OID for CPU utilization is 136.2125 for CPU utilization. This script uses the SNMP utility and the appropriate parameters to query the Panorama IP address for the CPU OID. For more information about using SNMP to monitor Palo Alto Networks, firewalls, and Panorama, log in to lab.paloaltonetworks.com and search for Enable SNMP Monitoring to locate the most recent article. Stop. This is the end of the lab.